I have another quick update. I just finished the deck, more or less. I mean, of course, there's going to be some tweaking here and there, but this deck is exactly as it is online now. So, without further ado, let me get into it really quickly. I'm going to try to make this one, under 10 minutes. First major change, I'm down to 19 creatures instead of the 20 that I was at before. The one I took out was Lord of the Void, so these are the same creatures from the last video. And there we go. Not really going to explain too much. I may want to put back Lord of the Void, or may put it back in. I'm also considering Obnixilis Unshackled alongside Quicksilver Amulet and Selfless Spirit alongside Quicksilver Amulet, and maybe even Sun Titan with Selfless Spirit. These are things that I would like to test, but I don't own the Selfless Spirit or I don't own an extra Sun Titan, and honestly I don't feel like I have enough cards to make Sun Titan worth it. The artifacts did not change at all, though this is on the chopping block. Strongly considering cutting it because it doesn't get its Grand Abolisher effect unless it's equipped to a creature, and that's when spot removal is useful for the opponent, so I'd rather it be something static like Defense Grid. I need to get another one of these for Yidris. And another one of those. I actually just picked up another one of these. My Yidris deck is at 51 cards right now out of the 100, and it's at 108 online, so I'm still trying to cut a few things, but it'll get there. Next change, I'm down to 3 enchantments from 4, so still have Dark Tutelage. It's sort of on the chopping block because I don't know if I need a second Dark Confidant. Then Earnest Fellowship and Phyrexian Arena. I cut Animate Dead for a card that you will see later. Next big change, 10 instants, if I counted right. I cut Brave the Elements, which is basically another Apostle's Blessing. It's just white, and all my white creatures get protection from the color of my choice until the end of the turn. I want to put it back in if I can find a room, but, well, gotta make cuts where you gotta make cuts, right? This is also on the chopping block. I know a lot of people would probably call me crazy for it, but I don't use it that much. It's mainly there for the turn 1 Phyrexian Arena play. Most of the time that I've used it lately, it's just kind of put 2 signets on the board. I did use it relatively recently to blow up the board and then play Living Death or Reanimate or something, and that helped. But I just don't know if it's worth keeping in. Both of these are foil. And Wear and Tear. More white and red decks need to be running Wear and Tear, in my opinion. It's just a really solid card. Next major change, I'm up to 13 sorceries. I was at 10 before, I believe. I'm also at 4 Wrath effects now, and I was at 2 about a month ago, so I've added a few more of those in. There's a couple new cards in here that I'm really excited to show you. Nothing new, still pretty but nothing new. This is a new one for me. I've played it before in the past, and I don't like the discard effect, so I may cut it, but I do have a fair amount of reanimation now at least, so there's that. I feel like I probably will need some more reanimation to make this really worth it, but the flashback thing is what really got me interested in it. And of course the fact that you draw 2 for just red. We'll see. And I have a foil sitting around, so. Living Death puts in a lot of work. This is the first of the 2 new Wraths. This replaced Wrath of God. Since I have Damnation, I still got a Wrath of God-like effect. Major reason, exile all Planeswalkers. Starting to see some Atraxa decks running around, some Super Friends, so. The next big card, though, Ravages of War. This is the Judge foil of the Portal 3 Kingdoms version of the card. It's a quarter the price. It's still like $50 almost. And it gives me a second Armageddon. Exact same mana cost, exact same ability. But it's a really cool card. I've been wanting to get that in here for a long time. In the last video I had Catastrophe. So it was nice to be able to replace that with this gorgeous card. Animate. This is the second of those new Wraths that I added. It may come out, but I'm going to test it for now and see. 3 mana Wrath is pretty effective, and it doesn't destroy, which is nice. It's another new card I added in, mostly because of the flashback ability, or effect, whatever it is. The mana cost is a bit much from my deck, because my curve maxes out at 5, and I don't know if paying 5 for a single creature is worth it. But this gives me resiliency, and a way to come back later on in the game. Worst case scenario, if I open with it in Faithless Looting, I can discard it and still use it later. So, I'm going to test that out. Then Vindicate and Wheel of Fortune. I wish there were more Wheel effects that were 3 mana that were this good for Kaalia. There aren't. The last change is in my lands. I'm running the same number of lands, and these are the exact same lands, but there's one update that you'll see. Of course, I believe I explained it before, the artifact lands are in there for Mox Opal. This will likely become, or this is going to become Spire of Industry, because I never really care about killing off Hexproof. My deck's quick enough to not have to worry too much about that, or at least it should be theoretically. I'm tempted to try to get the other 2 fetches for the deck. I have 7 right now, but I don't know if going up with the extra 2 is worth it statistically. We'll see. If I can get my hands on Verdant Catacombs and Scalding Tarn, I'll probably put them in here. Or I may end up just putting them in Yidris instead. This is a land I'm strongly considering cutting. I hate to cut haste sources from Kaalia, because she needs to get on the board and attack. But this enters tapped for 1, and none of my other lands enter tapped except for the Shocks. And paying 3 life for 1 generic mana is really rough, or for 1 colorless mana. I mean, yeah, it gives a creature spell haste, but the only creatures I cast that I care about that on are Kaalia and Stoneforge Mystic, and I don't care about haste and Stoneforge Mystic because she searches out the Lightning Greaves. 3 life is just really rough, and it adds up pretty quickly with all the other things I have in here that make me lose life. So, this may come out for, I don't know. Hanwire Battlements is an option, though it doesn't allow me to go into a turn 3 or 4 Kaalia with this, because it says pay red and tap it to give target creature haste. The issue with that, though, is it still leaves Kaalia open to spot removal, and that's what I'm trying to prevent, so that's why I have stuff like Lightning Greaves, Apostle's Blessing, Defense Grid, Earnest Fellowship. High Market, testing to see if it helps me against sack, exile, thievery effects, stuff like that. Foil. Got another Kaalia player that I know who's really jealous of this foil. He keeps asking me if I'll trade it to him, and I keep saying no. I like my foils. Running 6 basics, 1 mountain, 3 plains. Ooh, that was awkward. Off-camera shenanigans. And the 2 swamps. Strip Mine. Urborg. Vault of Whispers. Next card is not a new edition, never mind. Laura, Stronghold. This is the new edition. I finally got a real Wasteland, not the gold border, not tournament legal one. That one is currently in Yidris. So, finally got that. Just making sure it wasn't a perfect fit. It's been a weird day. And Windswept Heath and Wooded Foothills. There you go. Update on Kaalia. She is done. Of course, I'm going to be making changes here and there. There's a lot of things I'm still testing. I'm sorry for the shakiness of my tripod. I finally got a tripod. It's a little cheap one I picked up at Target for $10, alongside the new Bioshock collection for Xbox One. Been looking forward to playing Bioshock Infinite again, so yep. Let me know what you think.